Hello, hello, hello. All right, this is breaking news. I consider this breaking news. Uh, we were just live and I had the opportunity to see the stats from today's day two training camp with the Cleveland Browns. We would have still probably be live, but God knew best. Let me catch a break, eat some cookies, and have something to drink before I come back because this is breaking news. We just talked about the excuse, the justification. The reason we are here is because Shedeur Sanders is being held back in Cleveland, right? I just posted on Twitter after seeing these numbers today. Just go ahead and please get Shedeur the hell out of Cleveland. I've already been saying that. People wanted to hang back and see what training camp was going to look like. Well, let me show you. Okay, let me show you. I'm gonna go to the bottom of the screen. I'll be at the bottom of the screen, so just pay attention. All right, so we're gonna talk about the tracker. So remember, this tracker was widely used in I guess rookie mini camp, OTAs, and mandatory camp. And Shedeur emerged as the best, right? And that was before we got to training camp. So today is day two. Yesterday, everybody get a chance to knock the rust off. That's why I wasn't so hard on anybody on day one. Outside of just a general observation, if this person was good or bad. But today is day two, and we got some numbers. So this is Shedeur about the numbers along with everybody else. Now, first and foremost, I think it's ridiculous to have stats ranked by people's jersey number. Okay. I don't even know why they keep doing this. ESPN Cleveland did this before the break. 15, 12, 8, and whatever Dylan's number is down there at the bottom, right? So what gets me is why they rank this way? This is not the breaking news. This is just a valid question. And it goes into the whole setup, right? Anything to keep Shedeur from looking like the best. You are supposed to put stats in the order of the stats, right? You're supposed to put the order in the stats, right? So Flacco right here is number 15. Shedeur is 12. Pickett is 8. And Gabriel is 5. Okay. But let's go to the next column in completion, because that's what we care about when we talk about quarterbacks, right? Flacco, 4 of 10. That's not good. Shedeur Sanders, 4 of 4. That's actually perfect, right? Exceptional, excellent, elite. Exactly what we know Shedeur to be, right? Pickett, 9 of 11. Okay, the symbolism is just there. 9 of 11 with 1 interception, and they say he had a fumbled snap. I guess they don't have a column for that. So 9 of 11, and then you have an interception and a fumble snap. And then there's Gabriel, who was 6 of 8 and no interceptions and no touchdowns, right? So jumps out at you immediately. Shedeur Sanders is getting the least amount of reps. This is exactly what happened before the break. This is exactly what happened. Mandatory training camp, OTAs. Fans said they were hiding Shedeur from us. And here we are again. Here we are again. The least amount of reps. And he does the most with the least, right? So you tell me, why the hell is Shedeur getting the least amount of reps? I thought this was training camp. I thought we were developing players. I thought there was a competition, even though Shedeur won it already. I thought we were still in a competition for starter. How the hell are you going to develop Shedeur and or Dylan with the least amount of reps? This is what I mean by what I said on the last podcast. This is foolishness. This young man's time is being wasted. Again, look right here in the middle, top 10 QBs coming out of college. Shedeur Sanders, number 1 overall. Okay, this young man was supposed to be the number 1 pick because not only was he the best quarterback, the most accurate quarterback, he was the most NFL-ready quarterback, which means with little development, learning the playbook, he could get it done. He could start. But we already know that the fix was in college. So now he's on a team with Dylan Gabriel, who was actually used to block him off of the damn Heisman stage. Here we go, top 10 QBs. Do you see Dylan Gabriel's name on here? Is he on here at the bottom? Is he on here at all? Let's see. Shedeur, Cam, Carson, Jalen, Quinn, Garrett, Drew, Jackson, Miller, Curtis. No. Just no. So in Cleveland, once again, Shedeur is being blocked. I told you, look at the nonverbal cues. We talked about that. I said the nonverbal cues are Cleveland sending Flacco and Pickett to the podium. I said that is your number one and your number two. I just said your number three, if anything goes wrong during the season, is going to be Dillon, which means Shedeur is the fourth string. Since Shedeur has been in Cleveland, they have been saying he's the fourth string. He was the best quarterback they had, yet he's still the fourth string. He got the least amount of reps, did the most, won the competition. He's still fourth string. So for those of you saying he just needs to go out here and ball out, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They are wasting this young man's time. They are doing exactly what they did between rookie minicamp and mandatory camp. Shedeur gets the least amount of reps, does the most, looks the best. He's still fourth string because that's where they want him. He's not a fifth round talent. He's not a fourth string QB. That's where they want him. And day 2 of camp should tell you that. They are basically giving you nonverbal cues, just like sending Flacco and Pickett to the podium. With what? Who gets the reps? So they are truly developing Flacco with 10 reps and Pickett with 11. So guess who the starter is? Flacco cannot play a full season. He has not played a full season since 2017. So I'm going to start with Pickett. Now, there are rumors about Pickett going to Tennessee to back up Cam Ward because Will Levis is out. Now there's a rumor about Flacco going to the Jets because Justin Fields is out long term. Hell, that should, honestly, Dylan Gabriel could go to Tennessee and back up Cam. Shedeur can go and be QB1 or back up Tyrod Taylor in New York. That's if they wanted these young men to play football this year as starters, or at least QB2. But from what we can see, Cleveland is playing in Shedeur's face. This is deja vu. This is exactly what happened between rookie minicamp and OTAs. They even have the same ridiculous system of categorizing these players' completions, not from best to worst, by damn jersey number. I don't want to commit to say who the best is, so I'm going to just list them by jersey number. The stats tell you Shedeur was 4-4, so he's the best. Isn't that how stats work? So Dylan and Shedeur are getting the least amount of reps, and what do we have? Flacco and Kenny Pickett getting the most. And when you look at Flacco and Pickett, Pickett got one more rep than Flacco. If this continues, Pickett is your starter. It's obvious to see that Cleveland have no true intentions. I don't even know if there's still a competition. I felt like Shedeur won the competition. It didn't matter. He came into training camp as the fourth string QB. And he's still getting fourth string treatment. This young man was the number 1 overall player coming out of college. So Shedeur is fourth string because that's what they want him to be. I just want to know who's going to do something about it. I mean, right by now, we got the unexpected and karma on the loose. And that's what it's going to take. A combination of the unexpected with all of these quarterbacks getting hurt. Who next? Because Shedeur got to get the hell out of Cleveland. This is ridiculous. They decided when Flacco was sharing a locker with Jerry Jeudy, they decided who their starters were going to be. When they refused to trade or cut anybody after mandatory camp because they couldn't cut Shedeur because he was the best and they knew people were going to be all over them. They better get ready because they keep this shit up right here. It's going to be a problem. 2 million people bought the number 12 jersey with Sanders on the back. 2 million people are not going to sit quietly while he gets the least amount of reps and be perfect. While they continue to give us nonverbal cues that he's the fourth string because that's what they want him to be. Damn it, what he is. Damn it, what the fans think. We gonna bury him on the depth chart. Just like they doing Miro, who you could see right here was the number 3 quarterback in the draft because Carson Beck stayed in school. This is deja vu. So for all the people waiting, here you go. It's the same bullshit. The least amount of reps. Why? So you're not developing 4 quarterbacks. Because if you develop 4 quarterbacks, they will be getting the same amount of reps. 10. But that's not what we're doing. These people have already decided what they gonna do. Now, what the hell they gonna do if they underdevelop Dylan? Shedeur good to go. You can take him from 4 and make him start, and he good. But what does it say about all the other quarterbacks that truly came as developmental quarterbacks? This is why Cleveland has a revolving door of quarterbacks. This is why it never works out for Cleveland, because they do shit like this. This is ridiculous. Oh, it's gonna be a fair opportunity. How is it a fair opportunity if they don't get the same amount of reps? How was it a fair opportunity that all they talked about was a competition in mandatory camp, but Shedeur didn't get the reps? He's still not getting the reps. So get ready for the excuse. The excuse is, yeah, we can't start Dylan or Shedeur because they didn't get enough reps. Shedeur can go right now. Just teaching the goddamn playbook. 2 million people gonna have some shit to say because this is crazy. I told y'all they was gonna do this. They decided when Flacco was sharing a locker with Judy. They decided then. So for Barry to stand at the podium today and say that he basically and Stefanski, they gonna be talking about the quarterback position. They ain't gonna be making no decisions. The decision has already been made to make sure that Pickett and Flacco get the most reps because that's who we running with. It will take Dylan if something happens. We have no intentions for Shedeur. So maybe they're going to do Shedeur like they did DTR and throw him out there at Baltimore and they expect Shedeur to lose. But you see, he's not truly being developed. You can't develop no quarterback with 4 reps a day. You can't develop no quarterback through 2.5 to 3 weeks of training camp who's supposed to be learning the playbook with an average of 5 or 6 reps a day. These people are telling you with nonverbal communication that Shedeur, they have no intentions. Flacco, Pickett, and Gabriel gonna have to go down for Shedeur to go in. And if they can go get somebody from somewhere else, they will. They are telling you Shedeur is not their future because they want to draft somebody else next year. They are telling you he's not the solution right now. They are showing you he is buried on the depth chart. You cannot develop a quarterback with an average 4, 5, 6, or 7 reps a day. You can't do it. So yeah, tomorrow's open practice. So let's see if he gets the most for your own satisfactory so we can shut the hell up. Because this is ridiculous. And then he always does the most with the least, and he's still 4th string. There's nothing Shedeur can move the needle. There's nothing Shedeur can do to move the needle. He has done everything he can do. He gonna need Jesus, karma, and the unexpected to get together and kick the goddamn door down once again, just like it was done in the draft. This is them, Cleveland, showing you they don't want Shedeur. So for all of y'all saying this is the owner's pick, no, it's not. No, it's not. Because no owner would allow a GM and a head coach this kind of foolishness when this person is selling $250 million in jerseys and the damn tickets to open practices all gone in 10 hours. Claimed in 10 hours. This is foolishness. I hope y'all at the point where y'all tired of waiting to see what's going to happen because it's happening. The same thing that happened in 2023 is the same thing that's going to happen in 2025. We rotate quarterbacks around here. We don't have a starter. I'm developing the 2% battery lifers that I have. I don't give a damn about these rookies and not the best rookie. We don't care about that around here. Yeah, I know the fans going to be pissed. We don't care. You already bought your season tickets, right? You already claimed your tickets to come to open practice. You already bought your jersey. I don't have to answer to you. That's what we doing to the number 1 QB coming out of college. Devaluing him in the draft. Devaluing him in the season. Trying to bury him on the depth chart. something we already getting away with Milroe. So if I can get away with it with the number 3 quarterback, surely I can get away with it with the number 2 or the number 1. Hell, I got Cam out here competing. Now I gotta go find somebody else for him to compete with because Will Levis's shoulder is out. Karma, the unexpected. I had 2 black quarterbacks stacked over there with the Jets. Now Justin Fields is out. Karma, the unexpected. Let's see what happened. So I want to see what y'all have to say. And I'm going to open the phone line. I want y'all to leave me a voicemail because we're going to talk about it on, I guess you could say, the following podcast or the next podcast, because I want to see what y'all really think about these damn numbers, because this is just ridiculous. And you can't say everything you want to say at this point. So that's why we're going to do it that way. And when I tell y'all that it's just really sad, it's just really sad that Cleveland is playing in their fans' faces. It's sad that they're playing in Shedeur's face. It's sad that they're playing in our face. NFL fans. It's really sad. They knew when they had Flacco sharing a locker with Jerry Jeudy. They knew what was going to happen. I told y'all earlier, they doing the nonverbal cues with Flacco and Pickett. Now you can look at the chart right here in front of you to see who's getting developed. It's important for them to get Pickett and Flacco together because that's they 1 and they 2. If Flacco's only good for 7 games, he might play the first 7 or the last 7. This is what I mean by the foolishness. People are waiting to see, oh, the owner likes Shedeur. No, he don't. no, he don't. The owner's the reason that Shedeur was cut like bait off of a fishing line. Stefanski, he already said who his choice was. Who gets the 3rd number of reps? He clearly must not have a choice in the 1 and the 2. So, leave me your thoughts. Leave me a voicemail on what you think, why Shedeur is getting the least amount of reps. What are your overall thoughts about this happening? This is deja vu. It happened already based on the order of the stats, not by jersey number, but in terms of the best to worst, which is what you do with stats, with Shedeur being the best, doing the most with the least. What are your thoughts about this? So I'm getting ready to take it to the comments. Leave me a voicemail. We have the number right here below. 470-471-6721. And we'll play the best response back on a future episode of What She Said Sports. Right now, we're going to the comments. Tommy said, it's okay. Time will fix it all. Yeah, because that's where Jesus, karma, and the unexpected, that's what they're going to fix. The trio, that's what they're going to fix. BJ Riggs said, get him out of that madhouse. So they got their 3 starters. So let him shine where he will be appreciated. I like that. I'm going to start at it. I like that. I like that, BJ, because to be honest with you, I mean, honestly, right? Why are we wasting this young man's time? Because the NFL don't want these quarterbacks coming out of college, starting and balling out like CJ Stroud and Jaden Daniels? Or is this about what I just said it was? Is this explain why Justin Fields, Caleb Williams, and Bryce Young all had to be sacked excessively? It said, yes, I am over Cleveland at this point. I will support Shedeur, but not Cleveland. Right, they wasted his time. This is a waste of this young man's time. He is too damn talented for this. That's why I have this top 10 QB list here. The number 1 quarterback overall being thrown in the garbage by a professional football league who claimed to not want quarterbacks like him, but instead of not drafting him at all, invited him to the combine, they decided to draft him, humiliate him, and bury him on the depth chart. For what? When 2 million fans bought his jersey indicating that he's a good player, that's who we want to see. Cleveland decided to bring to the podium Flacco and Pickett, neither of them were there before, so they had no bragging rights, no seniority. You can't even say it's that. Neither one of them were there. So there was no reason to do that other to put them out there because that's who they want to roll with. So all of this talk, don't even listen to what they're saying. Look at what they're doing. These nonverbal cues, this nonverbal communication. They can't even commit to a quarterback out loud. That is why you see Flacco, Sanders, Shedeur, Pickett, and Gabriel stacked by jersey number. When you have stats in front of you because they don't want to point out the obvious that Shedeur is the best. Once again, all they talked about in mandatory camp was this competition. Well, he won it, right? It's still supposed to be a competition. It ain't no damn competition. It's that with this craziness, CFL starting to look good. Yeah, the Canadian Football League is looking very attractive. Very attractive. This is nonsense to hold back elite players because you want to latch yourself on to a part-time QB and somebody that you know is not good to block these players coming out of college because they black. And you don't want them to start 17 to 32. Coach Prime is definitely masterminding their next move for Shedeur. He will not tolerate this, as Barry should get fired and Kevin too. They both are going nowhere. This is just foolishness. They're not going to let him go because then if they let him go and he goes somewhere and win and they lose, then they got a CYA, right? So they're going to hold this young man back, bury him on the depth chart, even though he's proven to be the best twice now. I ain't worried the rejected will be respected. It's not about being worried. It's about the ridiculousness that is happening. This is ridiculous. It said trust. When it crashes out in front of the whole world and that pressure that they're on, that is on their heads, Shedeur will have the whole team reading behind him. Right. They're doing Shedeur like they did. Who went to Philadelphia? Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley had to just exist in New York. They didn't value him when they couldn't hold him back. They didn't want him. And he walked and went to play a Super Bowl. How many years was Saquon Barkley in Philadelphia? How many years of his career did they waste? Saquon Barkley have already said it. Don't be surprised if I retire. You know why? Because it never had to go that way. That's just drafting good talent and destroying it, burying it, not wanting to trade it. And heaven forbids if they ask for a trade, they end up like Deshaun Watson. But then eventually, maybe you get $230 million guaranteed because they retaliated against you when you asked for a trade. No, you can't see me exposing the truth because I made the screen larger, but here I am. I explained that I will be at the bottom. In high numbers, let's go. Yep. So I can't wait till these reporters start preaching that Pickett is the second coming of Jesus, right? So, tomorrow's going to be very interesting in Cleveland. Very, very, very interesting. It's not just a normal Friday. We expect Coach Prime to show up tomorrow. We know that it's an open practice for the fans, friends, family, whoever can get tickets. We saw Coach Prime in Tampa. I told y'all on the previous podcast that Coach Ty Bowles was asked by a reporter about Coach Prime's presence being there, what it meant to him, this, that, and the other. So we know that whoever's at the podium for Cleveland, I'm assuming Barry and Stefanski will show up. We know that so far, the players they've chosen to go to the podium are the people that they have designated as the leaders of the team on day one. O-lineman Boitano and then Garrett. We know on day two, they didn't send one quarterback, right? They sent two. They sent Flacco and Pickett. And again, as you can see on this list here, this QB tracker, Flacco and Pickett are what? The number one and number two. It don't even matter which one is 1 and 2, right? We know Flacco can play half of a season. We know he hasn't played a full season since 2017. We know that Pickett can play a full season. And if you look at these reps, how they were issue to the players, Shedeur got the least, but he did the most. Dylan got more than Shedeur, so Dylan is the number 3. I just said all of this, and here comes this list confirming what I said. They are wasting his time. Their plan is to bury him. There is no competition. There never was. Why would a 5th round QB compete against the 1st or 2nd string QB? Isn't the 5th round QB expected to learn to be a good QB because he's not? He's a developmental QB. So you're going to see Shedeur. You're going to see Dylan ball out. But in the regular season, the way they think this is going to go, because they don't plan for the unexpected, they don't think about the unexpected. They expected to go into Cincinnati with who? Flacco or Pickett. Is Cincinnati a game they can afford to lose? The first game against Cincinnati, can they afford to lose that game? Now, remind you, in 2023, they put DTR out there against who? Baltimore. DTR was a 5th round pick. So let's see if they put their current, who they think is a 5th round pick, out there against Lamar. Cleveland is going to do what they have already done. Look at the 2023 season. Pay attention to DTR and how they used him, a 5th round pick in that season. One of their reporters already said it. You're going to see Dylan and Shedeur during the preseason. And DTR did good in the preseason, but he didn't do so good in the regular season. So what that means is they're not putting any weight on what happens in preseason. Shedeur can go ball out. They're not going to care. They don't care now because he's getting the least reps, which means he's being developed the least. So there you go, right? I hope when Prime gets there, he has a real conversation with management. That ain't gonna happen. That ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna matter. If they don't care what they fans think, if they don't care what they fans think, if they don't care what 2 million NFL fans who bought 250 million in jerseys think, they don't care. And that's what I've been preaching. They do not care. It is more important to play keep away with the QB1 position with Shedeur than it is to win. They don't care. If they cared about the money, Shedeur would have been wearing his 2. It would have been waiting for him in his locker. We're going to see who make the 53-man roster. We're going to see if the guy who's currently 3rd on the depth chart, wearing the number 2, makes the 53-man roster. Because Cleveland already said the jersey numbers could change. So maybe they want to switch to the 2 this time and run it back. Or are they going to trade Shedeur before they get to the regular season? A supporter of What She Said Sports said by October, Shedeur going to be on another team. One thing about it, trading him in October means it's too late for him to start, to be named the starter, right? He can learn the playbook, but he probably not going to see no action. Fans want to see Shedeur play. They don't care. I told you all when he got drafted, the second or day after he got drafted, they're going to sabotage his career. That's what it's looking like. His best option is free agency. I don't think anybody can pick him up. Here's what I tell people that say he can go to another team. Because somebody just asked me, because I said Shedeur is too good to be in Cleveland. They said, if Shedeur is so good, why haven't another team traded for him? I'm like, think about this. Shedeur wasn't even on the draft board when Cleveland got him. How does that work? Because nobody else could draft him. That's how you handpick a team to send a player to. You take him off the board. You call up the owner and say, I need you to get Shedeur Sanders. Because he wasn't on the board, so nobody else could get him. So if he wasn't on the board and nobody else could get him, and he going to free agency, what y'all think gonna happen? If I'm not on the draft board, I hand selected him to go to Cleveland. Saying he was entitled and taking him off the board with that excuse was just the way to get it done. Just like giving out his phone number to 2,000 people with a waiver wire attached. I wanted his phone number to get in the hands of somebody, but I couldn't just give it to him. So I sent it out to everybody, and anybody could have seen it. But only one person used it, and they so happened to be connected to the New York Giants. There are no coincidences, people. There are no coincidences that Shedeur has the least amount of reps. They are getting ready to try to bury him on the depth chart. This is not about the rejected being respected. We know that. We know we gonna get there. But this is definitely just as egregious as the NFL draft was. It's the same thing all over again. It's the same exact thing. Hey Peter, how you doing? How you doing? Jam said, y'all back? Yeah, we back with when I saw the numbers come out. I'm like, here we go again. Deja vu, giving Shedeur the least amount of reps, him doing the most, not wanting to list the stats in the order of best to worst because he's the best. They don't want to highlight him being the best. They don't want to talk about him. They want to suppress his visibility. Tomorrow is going to be a very interesting day with Coach Prime there. Hopefully he's there tomorrow. I'm thinking he is because I know he got to get back to see you at some point. Coach Prime will spot and verify the BS immediately upon arrival. I don't know. Tomorrow's gonna be very interesting to see who they buffer, who they use as a buffer. It's gonna be very interesting. It's sad that they're doing him like this. That's what I mean. Like this is the same thing over and over again. It's sad that they're doing him like this. But I was always taught if somebody don't want you playing football in their backyard, go find somewhere else to play. That's what I mean. At one point, we were already talking about Canada. I wonder how fans are going to feel when Shedeur spend half the season on the bench, win or lose. So that's going to be the next question because you see where this is going. We want to go with Pickett. We want to go with Flacco. We'll go with Dillon third. Shedeur is a fourth option. That means 3 people in front of Shedeur got to get hurt for Shedeur to play. It's possible. It's possible. Because the unexpected is already happening where these quarterback injuries are taking place. But that's the part. It's sad that they're doing him like this. That's why I have the top 10 on here, because they're doing him like this again. They're doing him dirty again. Just like in the draft, devaluing him. You're not that good. Let him go and see where he go then. Or is it going to be too late? They're losing that Cincinnati game. Are you saying that, Damon, because you're in Cincinnati? Are you saying that because you're in Cincinnati? So, yeah, that's what they're getting ready for, the Cincinnati game. That's why you see. Take that. Listen to that. We're getting ready for the Cincinnati game. Look at who got the most reps. Look at who got the third most reps. Look at who's last. If they throw him out there, they going to think he's not ready. He stay ready. And that's exactly what they did to DTR when they had Deshaun Watson healthy and ready to go. Cleveland can't complain about Shedeur not being about Deshaun not being healthy. They can't complain because when he was healthy, they put in a 5th round pick right in front of him. DTR against Baltimore, and DTR, they lost that game. Why they didn't play with Deshaun? They paid him $230 million, but now they want to kick him every chance they get. They might give Shedeur a roster spot just to keep him on the bench. If I was him, I'm not the starter, release me. No, I think there are people that look at this that are saying, just ride this season out next season. Okay. I don't know how people can't see what the hell is happening. I just don't know how people don't see it. I told people when we get to this point, I said it earlier, you are here. You're at the point where they're going to say, we can't start Shedeur because, and Dillon, because I say now they can't single out Shedeur. So they got to put Dillon over there with Shedeur. Dillon and Shedeur not going to get enough reps that we haven't seen enough of them. They didn't have enough reps for us to see that we could go with them as the 1 and 2. Well, if you don't give him enough reps, of course, then you're not going to see enough reps. That's what I meant on the previous podcast when I said you are here. You're at the point where they're going to use the reps or the lack thereof to justify benching Shedeur. There you go. I want you to go look at DTR, who's a 5th-round QB, who Cleveland themselves, the reporters in Cleveland, have decided to compare Shedeur to DTR. I want you to go look at DTR in 2023. I want you to look at what they did in 2024, and maybe you'll see that he escaped to his freedom to Philadelphia in 2025. And know that what they did to DTR is what they're going to do to Shedeur or worse. Shedeur's skill set has nothing to do with this, because Shedeur is not a true 5th-round developmental QB. His numbers have shown that in Cleveland. That's why they didn't cut him after mandatory camp. Draft and hold, draft and destroy, draft and waste your time. It is about 17 to 32, BJ. Shedeur is the 17th black starting quarterback, and they're clearly playing keep away at QB1 with him, Jalen Milroe, the number 3 quarterback in the draft, and making Cam the number 1 draft pick overall compete for his QB1 spot. This is exactly about 17 to 32, because Shedeur, number 2 to Cleveland, would be the 17th black starting quarterback. That's exactly what this is about. How do we take if Cleveland puts Sanders on a practice squad? Hell no. That's worse. I don't know why people think Shedeur on the practice squad is a good option. That is a slap in the face. That is a slap in the face. It should make people, too many people want to return their Browns jersey. That's what it should make people do. The best option is to put him on waivers, clear waivers, and either he's free to go on to another league, or another team gets him a new contract, making this shit right. But I don't see that from Cleveland. I said that last night. I don't see Cleveland giving fans any hope that they're putting the team in the best position to win. Cleveland is not doing that. Cleveland is doing everything they can to hold Shedeur Sanders back. And these reps, which look like the same least amount of reps before we got to training camp in OTAs and mandatory, it's the same thing. They're doing exactly what they did before. If you put Sanders on a practice squad, he can't be picked up by anything till the regular season. Hell no. Shedeur Sanders don't deserve to be on. That's going from bad to worse. That's going from bad to worse. So no, nobody's picking him up because they couldn't draft him. If I couldn't draft him, nobody could pick him up. These people have not moved off of. They do not. The NFL is giving the impression that having the majority of the starting quarterbacks be black this year, next year, year after next, and all the years going forward is problematic. And that's why the draft went the way that it did. They started in 2020 looking at the number of black quarterbacks become starters. I said it, black quarterbacks do not make up the majority of quarterbacks, but they are this close to the majority of QB1s. Shedeur at 17, tipping the majority of black starting quarterbacks as starters. And they got him buried on the depth chart because he's that good, making Cam compete. Well, Will Levis got hurt, so now they got to get somebody else. Burying Milroe on the depth chart. He good too. They don't want to admit these young, black, elite quarterbacks can come out and start year one. Nobody complained when Bo Nix started. He struggled. They didn't bench him. He got the opportunity to get it right. Now they're praising Bo Nix for hanging out with Drew Brees in the offseason because he wants to get better. Shedeur doesn't get that opportunity. He can hang out with who he want to hang out with, but he doesn't get the opportunity to go into the offseason, relax for a little bit, continue to work out. He got to keep going at 100 miles an hour to try to make these people feel like, one, he wants to be the best, and it's still not enough. The Minnesota Vikings are ready to hand over the keys to J.J. McCarthy in year 2, and he has 0 seconds of NFL film, but they are super confident in him, but Shedeur is not good. Cam has to compete. Milroe buried for 2 years. 17 to 32. That's exactly what this is about. So no, the practice squad is a slap in the face. That's worse than where he being the fourth string. He's truly a QB1, a QB2. Nobody cared if Flacco started and Shedeur was QB2. Nobody cared. Because we're like, okay, you want to bring Flacco back, get that veteran experience in there. That's not even enough, which is realistic. They're like, no, I need him to be all the way to the end, so he don't even come out here. Because I expect Dylan, Flacco, and Pickett to be healthy, so we're going to roll with that. No, they're doing the same thing they did to him in the draft, and the owner took his damn marching orders. That's what that is. The Browns are breaking my heart. So frustrating to watch them cut off their nose to spite their face. They don't want to win and don't know how to win. It's crazy. I think they might know how to win. I think they don't want to win. They don't want to win with certain people at quarterback. That's what I'm starting to notice. How do you put in DTR over $230 million Deshaun Watson, who against the damn Baltimore Ravens? So you didn't want to beat the Baltimore Ravens. You put in your fifth string developmental QB. If I have to go back and look at how many reps he took, it's probably the same as Shedeur's. And you wanted him to play against Lamar Jackson when you had Deshaun Watson right there. But they kick Deshaun every chance they get. This ain't on Deshaun. Deshaun wasn't the only one in Houston with this massage foolishness. He's not the only one in the NFL. Justin Tucker told you that. But they take great pleasure in kicking this man that they have given every dime back to. Just like they taking great pleasure in holding back Shedeur Sanders, the number one quarterback coming out of college. That's what's heartbreaking. That the NFL is not about winning games, building winning teams. The draft is not about talent. That they care more about holding back black elite starting quarterbacks so they don't look at the TV and see black quarterback after black quarterback playing each other on Sundays. That's what this is about. They can't say what the Broncos told Marlon Briscoe. Yeah, you good, but we don't want you. But I can do it. I can say one thing and do something else. I can say Shedeur's going to get a fair opportunity, and I can show you that it's not happening. That's shiesty. Next time somebody took a picture of the leadership for the Browns, they all should be wearing Pooh Shiesty masks, because that's what it is. It's ridiculous. Fans want to see good football. They don't even care what fans want to see. Jets QB1 just went down, and most likely for the season, Shedeur might have a job in New York. If Shedeur could have went to New York in the draft, he would have. We said it earlier. Could he possibly go to New York? Well, from what I could see, he being underdeveloped. So there you go. I also heard Flacco might be in New York. Kenny Pickett will be a good choice for Tennessee or New York. We shall see. People make it seem like Shedeur is a four-string quarterback and we need an opportunity to open up. No. There were opportunities round after round after round, and nobody budged. He went to a team after he was no longer on the draft board. The fix was in. The fix is still in. These reps tell you they're going to hide behind. We didn't give him enough reps to develop, but are they going to let him play and start against Baltimore like they did DTR? I guess we're going to have to wait and see. Because if you could throw DTR out there after he balled out in preseason against Baltimore, then you could throw Shedeur out there, huh? They lost that game. They could have let Deshaun play, but they didn't. Maybe they knew that DTR would lose that game. And they didn't care about it. He has to be back at CU by Sunday. Why is that? Is it time for them to do fall? Is that what it is? Thank you, Clara. Clara said Coach Prime got to be back by Sunday. Who decide how many reps they get? I'm sure the coach. I'm pretty sure that's up to the coach. If the coach can choose who the starter is, then the coach decides who gets what reps. That boy Wiggs said, I'm at the point that I wished he didn't sign that contract. There you go. I said it. After the third round, he should have voluntarily took himself out of the draft and went straight to Canada. So they sold him $250 million in jerseys up there. But fraud is also a way to get out the jersey. And that brings us to another point. People were talking about Cleveland cutting Shedeur and nobody picking him up. I'm like, well, that makes it right for a lawsuit then. That makes it perfect. That's the perfect hotbed for a lawsuit after what has happened. See, corporations will keep you or release you. Normally, if they think you're gonna sue them, what they're gonna do is get rid of you and then try to get away from the problem that way. Or if you still work for them, they're gonna try to get you to sign a waiver. Who knows what the hell is in them damn contracts? Who knows what's in those contracts? How many people are still holding out? It was 5. So to me, the NFL has nowhere to hide. And what I mean by that is if you cut him, he can go to Canada or anywhere else and generate money for them. He can go ball out with them. His 3 million fans, plus the ones that's going to be pissed off with the NFL, going to go with him. They don't want that. They don't want that. A lawsuit is not what they're scared of. They don't want him to go be successful somewhere else. That's why he was still included in the draft process when it was said on or before the start of the combine. Around February 20th, the NFL does not want quarterbacks, plural, like Shedeur Sanders now, 2025 draft. So they took him, and what they doing? Trying to smother his visibility. Put him so far back that he's buried on the depth chart that even if QB1 goes down and QB2 rises, it won't be Shedeur. QB3 rises, it won't be Shedeur. He's buried on the depth chart. Hey, Regina, how you doing? How you doing? After attending practice today, G. Bush reports there's no competition and that the cards are stacked against Shedeur. That's what we're talking about. That's what we're saying. That's what we're saying. Yeah, you don't want Shedeur on the practice squad. Damon said, I think all NFL hated on him. He's going to prove them wrong. It's not just him. He's in the same situation as Jalen Milroe, buried on the depth chart for 2 years. This season, a wash. Next season, a wash. It's going to negatively affect their career earnings, just like Geno Smith. This has happened before. You're seeing it in the draft because of what was at stake, 17-32, with Shedeur being 17, which is why all of the hatred came against him. So he didn't come out of college as the number 1 overall pick. He would have been 16-32, and the plot wouldn't have worked. I don't know. You got to look at some of these quarterbacks like Geno Smith. He's just now getting. He played in Seattle and balled out, and they booted him out of there. Russ took Pittsburgh to the playoffs. They booted him out of there. Steve McNair. Look at the time gap between Steve McNair and Russell Wilson. Steve McNair, a few inches away from a Super Bowl win, they booted him out of Tennessee and sent him to Baltimore. But they holding on to Flacco, who hasn't played a full season since 2017. It's not just about Shedeur. But this is definitely involved Shedeur. Same old, different day with Cleveland. Yep, Cleveland don't have no competition. No competition. I still say he going to end up in Vegas behind Geno. I don't think so. I don't think so because they got Cam Miller from North Dakota State. Remember we talked about Cam Miller when we played them? I said he going to be playing on Sundays, and look where he playing at, Vegas. Coach Prime is back, I believe. What you mean, Madman, back where? This is bull. Yep, it's bull. You look at these numbers, and it is bull. So I open up the line so y'all can tell me how you truly feel on our back phone for What She Said Sports. Leave us a voicemail, and we might share it on air. You can call and leave a voicemail at 470-471-6721. Just like the last time we played it, it got really good response. So we'll do it again. This is a good topic because people have been waiting on this. There were people who after mandatory camp, nobody got cut, realized, oh, they just going to rotate quarterbacks like they did in 2023. And people were like, yeah, but the real work is done in training camp. It's day 2 of training camp, and we see the same BS that we saw OTAs, mandatory camp, that Shedeur is the best, getting the least amount of reps. He's not being developed. They are choosing to develop Flacco and Pickett. They are not developing QBs based on talent. They didn't draft based on talent. When they drafted Jackson Dart, it wasn't because he was talented, because look at how it's going in New York. Russ looked like he might become number 17 out of 32 after they booted him out of Philadelphia because they did not want him to be QB1. And now that you know about the collusion case and how Russ was the central figure in it and what went down, that's why they mistreated him in Denver. That's why they sent him to Pittsburgh. They expected him to be QB2. And that's why they said pre-draft, Shedeur Sanders, that Mike Tomlin should draft Shedeur Sanders and make him 2 behind Aaron Rodgers. And Aaron Rodgers is reported as allegedly saying, if y'all draft him, don't forget about me. So he was the block. And he already know he's not coming back because his domestic violence allegations have come out. They want to talk about speeding tickets, but they're not talking about Aaron Rodgers' domestic violence allegations. That what Danica Patrick said was horrible. Just horrible. He shouldn't be on anybody's team. He should be dealing with that just like Quashawn Junkins is dealing with it. But they don't want to talk about that. They want to cover it up and bury it. Okay, well, he already know he ain't coming back next year. So leave us a message and let us know your thoughts on Shedeur Sanders getting the least amount of reps, being positioned as the 4th string QB, being underdeveloped, the least developed QB. You cannot prepare a QB, develop a QB for the season with the least amount of reps. So that means he's not a priority. So the name of the game is bury him on the depth chart or trade him somewhere when it's too late for him to learn the playbook and compete. I feel like they think Shedeur fans are not football fans, but the jersey sales should have shown them that. They don't care. They don't care. I agree with you, but they don't care. I agree with you because the Mary Cabot lady was the one at the Rooks cooking event asking him, what does he call his fan base? I'm like, football fans. What do you mean what we call them? We're football fans. We're football fans. I just said it yesterday. I was anxious and watching. I wanted to see. I was excited to see if Justin Fields, if this was going to be his year. He out long term. Let's see who they put in his place. Let's see where they come from. Same thing with Tennessee. Let's see who they get to back up Cam. I thought Kirk Cousins wanted out of Atlanta. Why he can't go back up Cam? Because he don't want to back up nobody. He want to be a starter. So maybe Kirk Cousins ends up with the Jets. Let's see who ends up there. We gonna talk about it. We shall see. That's what I say. So, that's what it is, guys. I wanted to come on here and bring this news to you guys that they doing the same thing that they did before. Giving Shedeur the least amount of reps. Do not get your hopes up high. They are underdeveloping him. You cannot develop a starter with the least amount of reps. They even have him positioned as a 4th string QB, which means he's not a priority to develop, which means he's just going to sit there unless all 3 of the quarterbacks in front of him go down. Or they all put him in one by one and they lose game after game after game. In other words, Jesus, the unexpected and karma going to have to get together and do their thing, just like they did in the draft. And we saw work in the draft, and now we need God to come on right back one more time and get Shedeur to the next level, because this is ridiculous. This is playing in our face as fans, NFL fans that want to see good competition against Cleveland, NFL fans that want to see Cleveland win, NFL fans that want to see Shedeur win. Playing in everybody's faces. The faces of the people who spent $250 million on jersey. They're playing in everybody's face. So leave me a message on our back phone. Let me know your thoughts. We may select it and play it on air so everybody else can hear it. Shout out to BJ. Comment of the day. Get Shedeur out of that madhouse. That's the comment of the day. Get Shedeur out of that madhouse. That's it. That's because I actually said that on X before I went live. Somebody get Shedeur out of Cleveland. And if nobody can get him, and he's good, and they need quarterbacks because they're dropping like flies, it proves further collusion in the regular season, just like in the draft. Nobody could get him. He wasn't on the draft board. All right. So that's it. We're going to get out of here. We'll be back tonight at 10:35. I just wanted to share the nonsense, the what the Helly moment. Cleveland's still on that BS. So we just going to have to wait on God and see what God does, because I don't give a damn about Cleveland at this point. I don't care what Cleveland does. I care what God going to do. So that's who I'm going to keep my eyes on, because that's how Shedeur got drafted. All right, y'all, we're going to get out of here. We'll be back at 10:35. Call us, leave a message. We may play it on air. Let me know your thoughts about Shedeur getting the least amount of reps, being positioned as the 4th string QB in Cleveland. All right, thanks for watching What She Said Sports. I'll see y'all later. Thank you. Thank you for watching What She Said Sports. Be sure to join our daily live stream and listen up to What She Said Sports on the go on Spotify. Thank you for watching What She Said Sports. Stay for another video.